Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and it's time to find out how we felt about Masters of the Universe. I wish I had some kind of like reverb effect, but anyway, we've got Jayson next to me.
Yeah.
And we've got Austin the Smiling Day Ghost.
It's true, here we are, born to be kings.
And we've resurrected Robert Wilde from the dead. Hi, Robert.
Back. Hello.
How you doing, buddy? So yeah, we've got a panel tonight for Masters of the Universe. Isn't that exciting? We put this together a little last minute. Originally, tonight was just going to be me and Jayson and maybe Connor. He does a lot of new movie reviews with us, but he wasn't available tonight. We were going to do a double feature. We were going to do this and Mandalorian, and we still haven't seen Mandalorian. I don't know if that's going to get reviewed on the channel. I did a poll to see if anybody cared about that, and the percentage was swayed pretty far in the positive category. Like, yeah, we might not care about that or want to actually watch it, but we want to hear you talk about it. So we might try to still sneak it in. What's funny is since it's not performing great, I don't know how long it's going to actually last at the theater, which is kind of hilarious. But I'm sure I've still got a week or two where there'll be some theater that's still playing that in like a, nosebleed screen somewhere in the back. But it's a crazy time
out in the alleyway.
A Star Wars movie, you gotta walk all the way to the back of the building, and you gotta move some tape, and you gotta get past that like broken down like concession stand they've not used in 5 years. But anyway, it's great to see everybody. Thanks for joining us. If you're watching live, thanks for watching after the fact. If you're doing that, we'll try to interact with live viewers as much as possible, and you guys can help direct the conversation. If you are so inclined, you can leave a super chat at any dollar amount. That guarantees that we'll tackle any aspect of the movie you want us to tackle, or you can just give us your opinion on the movie and we'll read that too, but we'll try to do some regular comments as well. And as we usually do, we're going to go round robin and give you sign flips, and then we'll do some spoilers after that. So Master of the Universe, shockingly, there are 2 of these now, and this is 41 years after the original. We couldn't hit that anniversary. It had to be 41 years, because what was that, 80 or no? 39.
No, it was 87.
What am I talking about? 39, because it'd be 87.
Other way around.
Other direction.
Well,
but anyway,
maybe they should have given it another year.
Yeah, maybe they
for
should.
Other reasons too.
I don't know that would have helped it, like box office wise or anything.
No, not box office wise.
When the trailer for this dropped, I was actually pleasantly surprised and thought there was some real potential with this. It looked like it had an energy in the trailers anyway that I was not anticipating, and it was kind of cool just how off the cartoon screen everything looked. And so I was like, not stoked for this or anything, but like mildly curious. I'm not like a big He-Man guy. I didn't know like research or extra watching going into this. Like I never did that with the material I've done on the original movie either, so I was like, why break that streak? So I still know what I know with like the very, very little He-Man I've ever seen. So I guess I'll just start with saying, do we have anybody here that's like a He-Man person? Because I know Austin's not like a big Master of the Universe guy. Robert, did you grow up on this material? Have you ever seen an episode? Do you know anything about Masters of the Universe?
Very briefly, I have seen this episode of the 2000s cartoon that I have in VHS form. 22 minutes, and I don't think I watched this a lot because I don't remember anything about it, but I remember liking it. So there was an action figure that I think came with this, or I just happened to get both the same like birthday or whatever. I don't know, but that was a great action figure, and I thought this was cool. I also had a hand-me-down action figure from the original line that had like no accessories. The paint was all faded. It was just this weird, scantily clad buff man, but I thought he was cool. And then, like I said, this I had brief experience with this when I was a little kid, and I've heard it's great. This is something I'd actually like to go back to and dive into. I'm obviously also familiar with the 87 movie, but outside of that, like, no, I'm not a massive He-Man fan. I don't know this property super well. That is basically the extent of my He-Man knowledge. But yeah, like I said, I thought he was cool. You know, it had some brief experience with this franchise. So I was like, when you invited me for this, I was like, oh no, is he just like assuming that I'm like a massive fan of this property?
No.
I hope this isn't.
No, but I was
think he was
curious
hoping.
to. I was curious to see what would wind up in your background, and I was completely expecting you to be like, I have this, I bought it today, I needed something in my background.
No, like I still have those 2 action figures. They're just in a tote somewhere, and I didn't have time to dig for those. But I knew where the tape was. So I had
own
something.
That messaged me
nothing
earlier
from
today
this
and was
franchise.
like, I'm expecting Robert to dress up like He-Man, and I was like, I think that'll get us struck down on YouTube. Personally, that's a
true.
little too scantily clad.
Sure, I considered it.
I'm not gonna say you should have. I mean, like, but a part of me wants to say you should have. But anyway, yeah. So everybody keep that in mind as we go. That we've got no aficionado with this material, and I mean, it's safe to say that there's not like a ton of those around. Like, there are still big fans of this material, certainly. But the mean age, I think, of people that are He-Man fans or that grew up real hard with this is like 48. You know, like, because I'm almost 42, and that was a little before my time. Like, that show was already kind of out of relevance by the time I was old enough to get into a lot of cartoons. And Transformers was the same way. But there's some properties like that have stuck around in the cultural zeitgeist because we just kept making stuff in them, and He-Man doesn't really have that as much. There have been multiple Masters of the Universe shows and things, but nothing huge since the show that you just mentioned, Robert, which I've only seen the pilot for. I think it's like a 4 or 5 part pilot, and I've seen that, and it might not be quite that long, but it was sort of like Gargoyles, where it was just several episodes, and I thought it was dynamite, and I would be interested in watching through that show at some point. It's kind of like akin to the 2003 Ninja Turtles in that it's that material, but it played a lot straighter and handled a little more serious and taking some kind of story risks and being willing to be more character driven and all of that. But obviously they did that like extension of the old He-Man show on Netflix that Kevin Smith did. So I mean, like, and nobody liked that. So there have been like some returns to it, but by and large, not a kind of a tough sell in today's market, and I think a lot of years and maybe decades too late. And so even if you really like this movie, and the audience scores have been really solid for it. While I haven't really looked at what critics are saying, I doubt most of the critics are liking it. But it's box office is not great with it. They spent too much on it. I don't think it was ever gonna do anything but break even, if it could even do that. And I think it could be 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it would still have that problem. Like, it's just too late in the game now. I don't know how you'd advertise it. Like, we're pretty well past the big like rise of 80s nostalgia. Like, there's some of that still there, but I don't know, when everybody that really likes a thing is in their mid 40s to 50s, but you made a movie that would generally appeal more to like 12-year-olds that aren't seeing it. That's a tough sell.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, just from what I've heard, that Netflix She-Ra show is probably the most popular.
Oh, that's true.
Thing this property has had in years. I mean, at least my niece was a big fan of that when it was on. But yeah, so I don't know. In terms of marketing, before I even get into my thoughts, I think a mistake both this and the '87 film makes to what you were saying about marketing is just put He-Man in the title.
Yes.
Like, that's what people know and recognize. Yeah, it's silly and everyone thinks it's goofy, but like, people, like, at least in my opinion, I think people know He-Man. They've at least heard of He-Man. Nobody knows what just Masters of the Universe is. It sounds like the most generic nothing title ever. I think that's a problem.
It makes sense for the movie they made.
That's what I was
going to
say.
He-Man.
They made a movie where thematically and character-wise, it's all about positive masculinity. The title they gave it has nothing to do with that. Like, like nobody knows what Masters of the Universe even means, right? Like,
yeah.
they're not even space travelers. Like, I've never understood why it's even really called that. And Master of the Universe has never even really struck me as an especially ensemble property. Like, it's really about that one guy, and then he's got some friends that tag along. Like, it's not Masters of the Universe, like the X-Men. It's this guy. No, you're right. Put that, and you can still have Master of the Universe because that's what it was always called. But put He-Man on the title, and also, wouldn't you also do that to separate it from the old movie?
Exactly.
Yeah. I was surprised by that even, like, from the beginning. You know, like when it was announced, I was like, why are they
Up until we went into the theater, I thought it was called that.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know why, because I saw the trailers, but I went into the movie expecting He-Man to show up in the title, and he didn't, and I was like, that's a mistake. And then I saw the movie they made, and that was really a mistake.
Just put it really small, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Perfect.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Well, tonight I'd like to have... So obviously we're doing a review of this because Master of the Universe I've always seen as a superhero property, and I review all these things when they come out. And even if it wasn't, the movie they made is so much in that formula and taking a lot of cues from recent MCU and some other stuff I'll mention. So that's of course why we're here instead of reviewing some other things that are out right now. Big summer for movies. You're probably going to see a lot fewer Captain Logan shows over the summer and a lot more of these, which we're putting on Mondays in place of Captain Logan show, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm curious to see and that people want us to take a look at. So that's kind of neat. I haven't had a year in a while where I wanted to see as many movies as I do this year. I just hope there's some good ones.
Now, did you want to see this? Like, were you excited for this?
Well, like I said, I'm indifferent to the property, just because it's a little too before my time. Well, and also, I've never been a big sword and sorcery guy, so like, even if this was huge when I was a kid, I don't know that I would have latched onto it.
Sure.
But I was curious to see if they nailed it, because I thought the trailers had real potential. Robert, would you give us a brief synopsis, or tell us what happens in Masters of the Universe, parentheses, He-Man?
So, Masters of the Universe 2026 is about this little blonde kid named Adam. He lives on planet Green Screen, and then evil Skullface Man attacks, and he has to go to Earth, and then he has to find the sword to go back to planet Green Screen and save the universe. And that's the movie. That's the gist of it.
So, Robert, you are so good at that I'm going to start, even for movies that you can't make it for, I'm going to start making you pre-record them. That segment
I'm taking us to
sometimes take 10 whole minutes, and you come in here and you're like 30 seconds, done.
He's like Mikey doing a joke.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing. Sorry, you're gonna derail us with that. My 8-year-old, almost 8-year-old Mikey is the most efficient joke teller you've ever heard. Like, he will hear a joke, like with a whole story and a punchline, that you've heard take 3 to 4 minutes to tell. He will tell it in 20 seconds, and the punchline still lands, and you realize how little of the rest of it you needed, and his timing is perfect. He's like the best joke teller ever, and he'll do 5 in a row in the time it takes. Anyway, Robert, thank you for that efficient. I'm ruining it now because I'm wasting our time with this other thing. But thank you for that efficient synopsis. Austin, we'll let you go first, man. Tell us how you felt about Masters of the Universe.
Well, I was indifferent to seeing it.
Do you have the power?
Kind of. Not especially. No, then on Friday, I was like, I got nothing going on for the next couple hours before I rewind. I'll go see this movie, I guess. I got a free ticket. And my best thing is immediately 20 seconds in, the MGM logo was amazing. That part was great.
That's such a cop-out. That's even worse than saying the music was good. Like,
no, the MGM logo with Battle Cat instead of the lion is genuinely cool. I have to give that to them. if I could give it something that's actually in the movie and not the logo, I liked Man-at-Arms in the intro. I don't really like him outside of that, but I liked him in the opening. And then my worst thing, it's more spoilery, so I'll just say there's a song thing in the third act that I think really sucks and I was very annoyed about, but so I can actually talk about something. My worst thing is just there's a very clear divide between the script and what you're seeing on screen, and it becomes more and more noticeable as the movie goes on and gets more and more frustrating.
In what way? Like, you think the script is expecting a totally different look and in style and vibe, or
it's more that it's written like a Robot Chicken skit where everything is just, look how stupid all of this material is, look how much it sucks, and the visuals are like, oh, the He-Man cartoon is cool, let's properly adapt that.
Sure.
And it just doesn't fit.
So you're saying the script has no reverence for the material, and the visuals love the material.
Exactly. And that would be my worst thing. Which, like I said, just as the movie goes along, frustrates me more and more, where I'm more with it at the beginning. Although my like immediate reaction watching it is like, oh wow, this MGM logo is cool, followed by, you know, it's like smoke and the sword comes out and He-Man's talking over the movie and he's like, you know, back in the day they created the Sword of Power. Yep, they actually called it that. Isn't that weird? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm not feeling this.
And we know how much
I don't hate it. It's more just like
that kind of thing.
It's not great.
So that we don't have too much of the talking in just this one room, I'm gonna let Jason go next.
Okay.
And then we'll jump over to Robert. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a sign. There you go. I was like, where's my sign? So I'll just jump right into it. My worst thing is it kept going, and I haven't had this experience in a little bit.
No, what do you mean by that? It kept going.
No, I'll
Did
explain.
you get 15 minutes in?
Kept
You're like,
going
could this
past
be
the
over already?
MGM logo. I
Or
agree.
is it too? Sorry, what Austin? I missed that.
I said it kept going past the MGM logo. I agree.
Okay, I haven't had this experience with a movie in a really long time. I was waiting for it to end, and I haven't had that in a while. It's the most bored I've been in a movie theater in a real long time. And
did you have like a Shang-Chi thing with it?
Yeah, but like worse, because I was bored and sick of it. So like, oh man, like all of the like I'm not even a big He-Man fan, but I was like, oh, this is gonna get me into He-Man. No, it's just making fun of this property that I don't know anything about. So now it ruins my experience with wanting to go and watch it.
But isn't it so silly?
No. Like, well, yes, but like, I got sick of that comedy really fast.
What kind of comedy is it?
It's the Thor movies, but like ramped up to 11. It's just MCU humor, but just like, I don't know, combined with more MCU humor to make the doubly MCU humor. And the thing that I just said was funnier than anything in that whole movie, and you guys didn't even laugh at it. See, that's why I didn't laugh at it.
What about Fisto? Isn't Fisto a funny name, Jason?
And like, the movie doesn't look good, and we can talk about it, but I didn't think I didn't think a single shot looked good. Wow. I didn't have a shot where I was like, wow, this CG is awesome. I didn't have that ever.
Not even with Skeletor.
No.
Not even the close-up shot that's in the trailer that everybody went, that looks so cool.
No, I didn't think that looked good in the trailer.
Oh wow. Okay.
No, and here's the thing. my hopes were not high from the trailers, and I know you were like, "Oh, this might be good," and the first trailer was all right. I thought.
To Austin, can I say this real quick? To Austin's point, because the trailer is mostly the visuals, it looked like someone wanted to make it.
That's true. Like, the visuals look at least like He-Man. They just, I don't think, look good.
I do feel vindicated in thinking that there was a chance it might be good, because there were at least artists that were happy to be there.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, the things I thought had promise are in the movie.
There were people that were definitely happy to be there. I think...
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted it to end.
Well, it's on the cast, too. It's not like everything feels miserable or anything. Like,
Yeah, I'd say it's generally well cast with a major exception. But overall, like, I would say it's...
Well, but I think even...
Gee, I wonder who he's talking about.
But I think even he was happy to be there. He
well,
just
he's
maybe
probably happy
didn't.
to still be getting work somehow.
Yeah.
Because he's a because that guy's a con man that somehow keeps getting Hollywood to cast him in things.
Well, no. Okay, that and okay. I also was just from the beginning was sick of the main character. My best thing is a couple weeks ago they did that Los Angeles drone show. That was super cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was the best thing about that movie.
My favorite thing about that is because for those of you who don't know, is they did like a big drone show where it's Skeletor's face in the sky.
Yeah.
And the first thing I could think of was just how many people don't know what He-Man is, and just how horrifying it would be to look up in the sky and have no context for a big skeleton man in the sky.
And that got
we can't pretend like everyone's gonna know what that is at this point. Like,
right.
You can't call He-Man obscure, but the further along you get it, it is to some people.
But that got
to a lot of people.
That got like a Guinness World Record and everything. Like that was pretty cool.
Okay, I'm not gonna let you cop out though. What is the best thing about the movie we watched?
I actually couldn't think of one.
Oh wow!
Not even the MGM logo.
Stop it with the MGM logo.
But it's cool.
Yeah, except I think it's okay. But this is the only thing I'm going to say about the stupid MGM logo, since you won't get off this. It is. I'm just messing with you. It is very silly that not to give away my sign flip or anything, but that in a movie like this, you get a logo at the start that spells out art for art's sake. And I'm like, I don't love that word being on the screen right before I sit through this.
And right after an Amazon logo.
Yeah. Art for art's sake. I'm like, okay.
I think I disagree with Austin, and I think
fight him.
I think Man at Arms.
Hit him, Fisto.
I think Man at Arms after the first 10 minutes was the only thing I could really latch on to, like, of everything. He still wasn't great, but I just like I don't mind. I don't mind that actor, so I'm, everything else was so, like, I was like, I don't want to see your face anymore. But
well, you can make that your best thing, even if you think it's mediocre. You can just say Idris Elba's
Idris Elba is, I guess, my best thing. Yeah. Besides that drone show, that's
the most obvious possible casting. But he does a good job. I didn't remember he was in this, and as soon as he shows up, I'm like, somebody we're making a thing that's sort of kind of a little bit like Thor. I guess we must have Idris Elba in it. Like, of course. And he picks a lot of bad projects. So
he's a man. He has arms. It makes sense. It's a role he was born to play.
So, yeah, there's my sign flip, if you didn't guess. Okay. I don't want to. I don't mean to be mean about it at all, but I didn't enjoy it.
You just didn't dig it, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we took Mikey.
We did, and he really liked it.
And Mikey had a really good time with it. Well, because it's got Skeleton Man in it. Mikey loves skeletons, so like right away.
Skeletor is the best thing about He-Man.
Just he's going to be more
from the get-go
endeared to it
in that show.
Yep.
yeah. In that show, I think it's important to get that asterisk in there.
Yeah.
I like what he looks like in this movie.
Yeah, me too. Go ahead, Robert.
I would go as far as to say that Skeletor is like I feel like the most timeless thing from this property. Just to the end of time, I think children will always like Skeletor. He's just cool, like visually speaking. If you made a
Yeah.
Skeletor,
You're cutting out on us, Robert. We're losing Robert. Oh, we might be losing everybody. Austin, can you hear us? It might be on our end.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody, if you can still see and hear us. We're having a technical thing here. Okay, you guys back?
Yeah.
okay, I hear you now.
I assumed it was just me that went out.
No, you guys both froze on us, and it was probably something on my end. Oh, it's still happening. Ooh, I don't know what's going on. Sorry, everybody. Hopefully they catch back up here. Weird. Let us know if you can
Hello.
still see and hear us
We're
in the
back.
comments, 'cause I don't know what's going on right now.
Possibly.
Okay, you guys are back now. Hopefully
Yeah.
you stay back. If that happens again, I'll pause everything and hang up and call you guys back. But hopefully we're good.
I think
Okay,
Amazon's taking us down, or a certain cult leader.
Okay, great. Says it's Skeletor's revenge. So to your
True.
point, Robert, I think there are people. I don't know what else you said because you cut out. But to your point about kids will always like Skeletor, I'll go as far as to say I bet there are people who know what Skeletor is that couldn't tell you what the property is he's from.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like when I saw the movie, there was a family sitting next to me, and like the second he showed up, like the kid in that family was like, "That's Skeletor," and I'm like, "How do you know that?" But
Yeah.
okay.
John Von Kelling just
Little
put
biased kid, just because he's a skeleton for a face.
John Von Kelling just put in a $2 super chat and says, "Best thing about the film, Leto's face is not in it."
Not even
That's
in
a
the
good
marketing. They purged him from the marketing of this movie.
Yeah.
You guys with your cop out best things. Robert, let's get your sign flip.
Yes. Well, for my signs, I've got green for Aquaman and red for Creed 2. There's a connection here that you probably guess.
Yeah.
This is another one that didn't turn out great because Creed 2 is obviously the better film in this
Right.
scenario. But oh well. So. Best thing, Cap joked about it earlier, but nobody said it, so I'm going to say best thing is Brian May's contributions to the score. I don't know how much was him
Still
or...
a cop out.
Yep.
Well, the music
100%.
was good.
Objectively correct.
Well,
I don't know how much of it was Brian May or not, but like there's just some guitar riff stuff that's really cool that I
think he
enjoyed.
just worked on the song at the end, but like I'd say
Okay.
the score in general kind of has that
Yeah.
throughout.
It does. Sorry, yeah, I'll let you have your sign flip. I didn't love it.
No, I didn't say I loved it.
Like
the
like
best
some
thing
of,
about the movie.
well, I found it distracting actually.
Okay.
Like I thought some of those riffs were cool, like out of the context of the movie, but I also thought that it was trying too hard to sound like 80s synth. Like, look, it's based on an 80s thing, but like it's awkward because like it's not an 80s period piece. That's not what that show sounded
And
like.
it went
Like,
to that
why are we
theme
doing that?
way too much, I feel like. But
Anyway, sorry, we'll let Robert have his sign flip.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
No, and I didn't think the music like always fit the scene perfectly, but more often than not, I enjoyed it fine. But also as far as characters go, like you said, I think the cast for the most part is fine. And Tila was probably the character I liked the most, just start to finish. Like she's not great or anything, but I thought she was fine. And Idris Elba, I also enjoyed in the movie. I always like Idris Elba, so like that's for the most part what I enjoyed. Like I don't know, I'm getting the vibe that I probably enjoyed this movie more than you guys did, but like Austin said, with his, because Austin, your worst thing was like just the comedy. Yeah,
a lot
like
of that.
from the opening, there was stuff that made me go, okay, we're doing that. And there was so much comedy in this that took me out that I didn't enjoy. But what I'll say my actual worst thing is, for me, is just pacing. Like this movie as it is does not need to be 2 hours and 20 minutes. Like, if
Oh
you
God, is it
cut
that
the
long?
movie,
It felt that long.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually check the
Yep.
runtime.
Kept going.
like, so I certainly enjoyed this more than Jayson did. Like, so for me, it had its moments, but it's way too long for the type of movie they made. And if you just cut out all that comedy that doesn't work and tighten this up, like I would have enjoyed this considerably more. So as it stands, I'm gonna flip red. I'm not feeling it. I don't hate this or anything. Like we all said, I'm kind of indifferent to this property. You know, it's not, He-Man's not something I feel strongly about. Like if He-Man fans love this movie, great. If they hate this movie, oh well. I don't have strong feelings on this movie or this property. Like I said, it had its moments. Like there are parts where I thought it was fine. Like I said, I didn't hate this movie or anything, but at the end of the day, like I would never watch this again just on my own. It would depend on if somebody wanted to watch it with me, but like on its own, I'm never gonna go back to this, and that's ultimately why I'm flipping red. It was just like there are too many stretches in the movie where I was bored or unimpressed or comedy was just taking me out and not vibing with it. But oh well, like I said, I didn't hate it. It's just whatever.
Yeah, I don't even realize that I'm flipping red. If I knew I was coming into this review when I saw it, until probably like halfway through. Like I said, it like slowly bears me down until I eventually am sitting there and I'm like, I think this movie's just bad. Like, I think it just didn't work out. Because I agree, there is good stuff in it.
I think I had the same thing.
I would go as far as to say that, like, with the movie they made, if you cut it down to 2 hours, depending on what you cut out, I might have flipped green. Like, I might have actually recommended it. But as it is, like, I think it's just mediocre. But if people love it, great. Like, again, I'm not mad about it or anything. That's just how I feel.
Pros and Cons guy just put in a $5 super chat. Yes, we did know this. Did you know the man at the gym who gave Adam advice is He-Man from the old movie? Yes.
Oh my God.
That is Dolph
It's
Lundgren.
Stallone?
We will talk about that cameo. I have feelings. I have things to say about that.
There he is.
Look, there he is.
There he is.
Dolph Lundgren.
You know what else is funny about making those red and green?
What's up?
You took a totally phoned in, could have been anybody Dolph Lundgren performance for your green, and for your red, you picked his only like Oscar-worthy performance.
It's true.
It's wonderful. Okay,
No,
so
I think this was an Oscar-worthy performance from him.
not to be a contrarian or anything with what Jayson and Austin are saying, but I had not the complete reverse of what you guys are talking about, where you're with it at the start and then it kind of lost you as it went along. I was not with it from the start. And some of it was that voiceover that you guys are talking about at the beginning, where I was just right away I was seeing it filling in for the standard modern kind of cop out safe trying to make everybody happy superhero movie.
I swear I'm not high.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot he said that. And I was immensely frustrated. Did you want to say something, Robert?
But yeah, just real quick, just on that point, I wouldn't say I was like with it for the first half and then not in the back. For me, it was back and forth like the entire movie from the opening. Like I said, with
Like
those
Bong.
opening jokes, like with those opening jokes, I was just like, ugh. Like so that like the whole movie, I'm going back and forth of, I'm kind of digging this, and oh, that was bad. And I also just wanted to mention because of that super chat, my other best thing actually would have been that Dolph Lundgren cameo. I really enjoyed that. I just didn't want to say that because I thought that might be considered a spoiler, so that's why I didn't mention that as my best thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah, thanks.
that's all I want to say.
We'll talk about that. I disagree. I didn't like that at all. But
I like
no, that's fine. You can like that.
We got Civil War over this.
I did not like that. But we'll talk about it.
Good journey.
But as I don't want to say like I wasn't with it, and then as it went along, I liked it better because I didn't. But I was immensely frustrated with that first act because I had issues with how all the lore is presented initially, especially if they're well. not especially, but if they're gonna go to Earth in the first place, I thought that was structurally just incorrect. We'll talk about that. And then I thought his being on Earth ultimately was completely pointless. And I think there's way better ways to do that. If you've got to do that, I'll throw out some suggestions with that later on. But my best thing is solidified by the third act. So I have to say I kind of like the end of it better than the beginning of it, even though it's really lost me all the way up to that point. And so it's kind of more on paper stuff. It's like I didn't feel like you earned the thing I like at the end, and I wasn't like really with any of these characters, and I didn't I felt like I was just watching a big studio production the whole time. I couldn't get wrapped up in a story, but and a production that's really at odds with itself in various ways. But when we get to the end, my best thing is, and it's weird, I almost never say this, message. I thought making a He-Man movie now in 2026 about what good masculinity is was great, and the message was solid. It's a good thing for children. I like that. Not to give any spoilers yet, but I like that it's about a protagonist who like a male. I what is the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I can't think of the word. But I like that it's about a protagonist who like tries to talk things out before he just goes on the attack, and he's not that's what it is. Like he looks macho, but he's not macho. And it's about how a lot of men don't like come off like they're just about using their fists, but in reality they just don't know how to express themselves, and so they're misunderstood. And all of that like resonated and rang true to me, but it came too late. And again, it was kind of all just on paper stuff. But I like that the message is you're and like this is a real Saturday morning kind of message, but part of the movie wants to just be a Saturday morning cartoon show. There's another part that doesn't, but if it had just leaned into that and decided to be that movie, it's kind of neat that it's just, you know, Saturday morning or after school special in that way, where it says, you know, being a real man is all about only fighting when you have to, and about being a protector, and that's the only reason that you fight, but that's why you want to be a good warrior, and all of that I thought was great. Worst thing, I just spent longer on my best thing because like everybody else copped out with their best thing, so and I'm actually kind of kidding with the music thing, because obviously music is a major part of the production. But I always say that because traditionally that's considered a like professional criticism faux pas. That like professional critics, going all the way back, like if the only positive thing you could say is the music was good, you're you're not being honest. Like that's not. So anyway, so I always call that a cop out. It's not fair. It's not really. But anyway, and then
professional critics are dumb.
and then yeah, well, and I don't. I've never been one of those, and that's good. My worst thing is. And Austin spoke to this earlier, is the obnoxious, self-aware humor where it visually will present a lot of things more or less like that cartoon show did and lean into the goofiness of it, but then everybody's got to, in Eternia, in the place where they are, make fun of all the names and stuff. And nobody's allowed to just have the name they have. It's all got to be made up and named by somebody else, and then they all look at each other and go, "My name is stupid." I'm like, look at what you look like. Like, you already look like a goofy character. Why can't we just all have those names, play them as just like serious and endearing, and like the tongue-in-cheek, the audience knows it's silly but no one in that world knows it's silly. And like there's a line there's kind of a needle you could thread with that, where if you had an eyes in character that had never been there and came over, like that person might think it was all silly, but if no one else at all there does, then it could maybe possibly work, because then it's like worlds colliding. It's like there is a way to do that. But they didn't do that, and it was irritating, just all the way through, constantly. I wasn't. I was surprised, and I wasn't surprised they did it, because like that is the fill in for formula thing that we always do. But it's so weird, right? That it's like embracing all the silly cartoon stuff and not trying to be ultra serious. I wanted them to pick a lane, because, and I'll talk about this later, but I could have really seen this being like a little darker, like let all the silly characters be there and still be what they are, but like, Skeletor doesn't have to like have an evil villain laugh that goes on for 5 minutes and then everybody awkwardly looks at him and then he's like, don't do that stuff.
It should be camp before it's like ironic humor.
Mm-hmm.
Like Skeletor laughing like slightly too long is fine. Don't stop and call it out.
Yeah.
My big example for it is we constantly talk about Prince Adam as being like this really scrawny guy, like he's Captain America at the beginning of First Avenger, but he's clearly just a really muscly guy in just baggy clothes.
Yes.
And they never stop and make fun of it.
No.
Like, that's funny. That's the type of humor that you do, where it's like, we get it. We understand why it's funny. But we don't have to stop and be like, wait a minute, you look pretty muscular under that pink shirt, Prince Adam.
Yeah, but because they're self-aware and they make fun of everything, that didn't work. Like in the movie they made, they actually needed him to be scrawny and then get big when he picked up the sword. Like they needed it to be like Captain America First Avenger, and they didn't commit to that.
See, I'm fine with that, because that's like the kind of comedy I wanted in this movie that I just wouldn't do.
Yeah, that's fair. It also didn't seem like a comedic choice to me. So like I can see a movie, like I didn't even think of that, Austin. Like I could see a movie where that's played for comedy. I actually didn't think it was with this. I kind of think they were hoping the audience wouldn't notice. It's weird.
But that just plays more into like, it's just kind of campy. Like it's not like in your face, look how funny this is. It just lets it play.
But I'm also in the camp that says that He-Man doesn't look big enough. So if they were going to do that, they needed to cast somebody that was even more ripped than him, and then they could still do the baggy clothes thing. But like that's why I feel like it's not played for humor, because it's like they're splitting the middle, where they're trying to get a guy that's like not too big, so you'll buy him as Adam, but is big enough where you'll buy him as He-Man. I'm like, I'm not buying either of them. So like I don't understand.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, okay, I didn't have that, but interesting.
I think they were just trying too hard to be funny, and I feel like
absolutely.
if they had just cut a lot of the jokes, it would be funny.
Well,
anyway.
okay, there's a problem with that though.
Yeah.
You have to completely restructure and reshoot most of the movie if you do that.
Yeah.
Because if you cut all the jokes, no scene has an ending.
Yeah.
Because almost
right.
every scene has the stupid late stage MCU humor thing where we we undercut everything with a super awkward joke. So somebody mentioned this in the comments earlier, and everybody looks around at each other, and you throw the protagonist under the bus where he looks like an idiot, and then you move on to the next scene. And if you cut all of those, no scene has an ending.
Yep.
That's true.
It's the same reason.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't want to rewatch this movie because I hate those endings to see. Like, it's actually like my biggest pet peeve in
and I started
ever.
set my watch by them. I could tell when it was about to happen.
Yeah.
Can I actually? Yeah. I can complain about the music to make Cap happy.
It's your best thing.
It's my best thing. But the music is part of that joke problem where we're just so in tune now. Like you can hear the music ramp up, and then it'll cut out, and that's when the joke happens. Like that's your first cue that we're gonna undercut this with the joke.
Right.
Is you can hear the music ramp up, and then it cuts out. That happens like 5 times at least in this movie.
Yeah, it keeps happening. Last thing I'll say,
we should have done a record scratch.
in my
as
Sign
well.
Flip segment, and then we'll get into spoilers, is it was from the very opening, I was having Shazam vibes really hard, and I couldn't get that out of my head the whole movie. It tonally it felt a lot like that to me, especially with the kind of immature voiceover. And that took me out right away. Where it's like, oh, we're in eternity, isn't they? Eternia, isn't that goofy? And it was. I know a lot of people are comparing this to Ragnarok. One thing I will give it is it does feel a lot like that. Both in some ways visually and with the humor, but it at least has a script. Like the jokes are bad, but they wrote them down. So like I'll give it that at least. Like I don't think a lot of that horrible awkward stuff is improvised.
No, but there is a big Ragnarok thing in the third act that was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to Cap's point, there's like 10 or 15 movies this reminded me of. Sure. Most of which I'd say are better.
Yeah, which is why. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, real quick. Sorry. But like Ragnarok, in my opinion, I would say is a better looking movie than this in terms of sets and CGI. But that was also made in a different time, and I'm not gonna give any of the VFX artists on this crap. It's just the current state of these kinds of blockbusters where we're just making too many of them, and we say this every review we do now, but these effects artists are overworked and don't have enough time and money. So I'm not going to harp on the bad green screen and CGI too much because it's not their fault. But that's all. I just wanted to address that.
Hollywood thinks that it's trained us to be okay with shoddy CG that's not well integrated.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at now. And you're right, Robert. We don't have to have a massive discussion about that every time. That is where we're at with it. Although I do want to use that opportunity to have Austin talk about this, because Austin and I were talking about the budget of this, where it is ostensibly a $200 million movie, and I'm not really seeing that on screen. And it's nuts to throw that much money into. Like, I don't even think Power Rangers 2017 came close to that, and I thought that came too late, and even if it was great, would not have built a huge audience, probably. But with this, it's like, why would you put $200 million into a He-Man movie? I'm not even really seeing enough of it on screen, although we have this with MCU movies, too, where it's like you put that much money into it, but the effects aren't super well integrated. And then Austin had a terrific point about that, which is maybe this has been in development hell for so long. That maybe some of the budget that's built into this is all of the times they've started and stopped before.
Yeah, because a lot of times, if it's with the same studio, that stuff will be factored into the budget.
That's why Superman Returns is like one of the most expensive.
Exactly. Yeah, because it had to buy both Flyby and Lives.
Isn't that insane? And that was 10 years before that.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. But no, I had a certain point. So I'm not like a huge He-Man guy, but there's two things that I really like in He-Man. It's Skeletor and it's Battle Cat, because tigers are awesome.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I'm like, oh, Battle Cat's just like barely in this, I guess, as like a cost-saving measure. I didn't know the budget at the time. I guess that's like a cost-saving measure. He's a big CGI guy, or cat. So, we want to not have him on screen a ton. And then I realized, wait a minute, but we do have that stupid robot in this movie that didn't add anything. But wait, that's also like not in a ton of shots. So that's also barely in this movie. And that was where it kind of hit me like, oh, there's no way this actual movie cost $200 million. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't see it.
So to your point, the third act is better than the rest of it. I think I agree with you, but I think I was so done with it.
I don't even know if I'm saying that. I'm just saying that I found something to latch onto there and wished that the rest of the movie like had explored it better, and that it was tighter, and like to Robert's point about pacing, this thing is massively overwritten.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, in the third act, can we just talk about spoilers now, or are we still kind of...
Let's be in the spoiler territory.
Okay. The third act hit me like a hammer, because it's like we stop and we do the you're not the god of hammers, He-Man. The power was in you the whole time.
Yeah, that's.
And then he comes back up, and he gets his big Superman speech from the end of the new Superman movie, where he talks to Skeletor. And I was like, this is just corporate slop. Like, this is just. There is no heart to this movie. There is no through line that I think fully connects it. It's just, here are things that have been in movies in the last 10 years. Slap them together and call it a day.
Well, and
it's our product. We're Amazon.
Like, I completely
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah.
I just found something
I
mind. Like, I think that's entirely on, like I said, on paper. I don't think the execution is anything.
Yeah, and I'm not criticizing you for liking that. That was just like my experience in the theater, where that was a
All
big.
I like is an idea. Like
now that we're into spoilers, the only thing I laughed at was Skeletor in a hoodie. That was
his Adidas jumpsuit.
Literally the only thing, because I was like,
look at the context of it was stupid, but like the image was fun.
That's funny. This is so stupid. I want to leave. But
they should have put him, because they do it in threes, where it's like the gym thing, the date, and the HR office. The date one should have had him in the dress that woman was wearing. What were we doing?
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. To Austin's point, that scene, it's Thor Ragnarok, it's Wonder Woman, like we've seen this before. There are so many movies.
Wow, I didn't even think to compare this to Wonder Woman 84, but it's overwritten and bloated in that way.
I agree. I was just talking more about the sword thing and the powers.
No, I know, but you made me think of that.
Sure.
When I was,
totally.
While I was watching it, I had
the Lord speech.
Sure.
But anyway, sorry.
While I was watching it, I had 2000's Fantastic Four, like the entire time.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't have that.
Like in the same way, like especially, I have nightmares about that bridge scene. It's actually one of the worst scenes in anything, and I don't want to watch that movie ever again. And I had the same thing with this movie a lot of times. So,
who would Skeletor be in that scene when he gives you that nightmare vision?
The wife putting the ring on the ground.
Yes, that's one of the worst moments in anything. Superhero movies, but anything.
No, anything. It's like that, but everywhere.
All over.
Okay. If you guys are cool with that, I want to get my big like suggestion of how to restructure this out of the way, and then we can talk about all the. Sorry, Robert.
Can I expand? Can I expand on something just before I forget?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem.
My train of thought.
Yeah.
Well, to your point, like you said, I like the stuff about like positive masculinity. It's like if you took Captain America from First Avenger and put him in the Thor movie in that plot.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of an interesting mashup. I just wish we got to dive more into it. It's like. Again, if you just want this to be a jokey, fun cartoon, that's great, but then don't make it 2 hours and 20 minutes. And if it is 2 hours and 20 minutes, then the themes and interesting ideas, like, expand on that stuff more, not the comedy.
And you can't make fun of Fisto's name, you can't make fun of Mech-a-Neck, they've got to just... Guys, imagine if we did this with Transformers, okay? Imagine if Sam Witwicky walks in and he names all the Transformers.
That was the thing I said walking out of the theater. I was like, imagine if Transformers was like, you're Bumblebee. Like, what, like the insect? That's weird.
Well, yeah, but I'm imagining it even worse than that. I'm imagining you have to have a character that comes in to, like, jokingly give all the characters their names, and then the characters, for no good reason at all, are now saddled with those names, and apparently did not have their own names.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Say, like, that's not my name. My name is this.
Yeah, nobody ever does that. And then the joke with Tila is just she has like a more normal sounding name, so she doesn't have one of those until the end, and that's one of the most horrible things that I can imagine someone writing down in a script. I can't even believe it. That whole scene is.
Yeah,
I mean, there's as much late stage DCEU in this as there is late stage. MCU for sure, but that makes sense because late stage DCEU was kind of trying its hand at appealing to MCU fans with its crap comedy. So yeah.
Well, and I was talking to Austin about this earlier with the naming thing. I mean, I think there's a way to make that work, but if you play it, but you have to play it in a more endearing way. Like he's, taken away from this place when he's a little kid. This is how he remembers them. Maybe you could have done a thing where like his memory of Eternia as a child looks more like the '80s cartoon, and like there's more of a contrast to how it looks now. I'm not saying I would have done that. I'm just saying I just don't like the way it was executed.
Or
if
you
that's the
flip
idea.
it.
Sure.
Where Fisto's like, I'm Fisto, I fist people, and Adam's like, I've been on Earth for the last 20 years.
You can't say that.
And then that's the only moment you have. You don't have to keep doing it.
Okay, now that you said that, Robert, because that is part of my whole thing, my whole idea with this. Let me get into the first act thing. So, first of all, if you're gonna go to Earth at all, in my opinion, you don't introduce Eternia in the first 10 seconds. You build to it. You ramp to that. Partly because the big problem with the 87 movie, I mean, it has a lot of problems, but one of the big problems with the 87 movie is they had such little budget to do Eternia stuff that they got it out of the way in the first 10 minutes, and then, like, you go back to it with Skeletor at the end, but, like, the bulk of the movie, you're just walking around on Earth and it's boring. With this, we open again on Eternia with a big battle, just like the 87 movie, and then we go to Earth, and like we're gonna go back to Eternia for most of the movie. So I mean, obviously that's an improvement. Like I'm glad that we don't spend the whole time on Earth. I'm glad it's not the first Thor movie again, because that's like the 87 movie and Thor kind of have that in common, to some degree anyway. It's obviously better with Thor, but anyway, if you're gonna do Earth at all, I would start on Earth, and I would introduce us to Adam as having lived like Azariah's in character. He's used to being on Earth, and he either doesn't. I can't believe I'm saying this. Over what they did, I would actually advocate for amnesia. And I usually don't like that, but I think in this case it would have actually been better. But that's not what I would have wanted them to do. I actually think, with the movie they made, there's no reason to go to Earth at all. Like, just don't even have it. Just stay in Eternia the entire time. Like, why not? But with this whole idea of he's, like, drawing pictures of the people he knew on Eternia, why not have him show up on Earth, start telling people about Eternia, and everybody thinks he's crazy. And he starts to develop this complex where he knows that he has to... You do kind of a mental health thing with it, where he has to bury his feelings and the things he knows to be true because no one will accept it. And you don't have to throw him in a mental institution or do therapy or any of that stuff necessarily. It's just the adults in his life tell him he's wrong all the time, and he starts to believe it. And as time goes on, so he's drawing pictures, and he's like maybe like making little comics and things, and over time he starts to wonder, and then maybe even believe that all of that was just in his head, and that the first 10 years of his life didn't even happen. And he's, of course, shocked later on to discover that it's actually real, and he's got to kind of reset his mind about it. But to Robert's point, to Robert's idea, he also remembers it with this rose-tinted glasses kind of thing. And it's all happier and simple, and the good guys always win, and the bad guys always lose. And it isn't like the movie we got where Skeletor is just one-dimensional and evil because he's evil, and why the hell did the movie have to spell that out? Like, why do we have to talk about that? Just do it. He's evil because he has a skeleton face. Yeah, I know. I could read that. Like, just do it. You don't have to talk about it. But anyway, what if he imagines it as the 80s show was, but you do the meta thing, and you actually have him make the TV show, and like let the cartoon show be in the real world, and he becomes like this famous cartoonist, and He-Man becomes like a real show. And I would do it as a period piece. I would leave it in the 80s. and he ends up finding the real sword, thinking it's like a fake plastic sword. And he goes back to Eternia, and in a weird way, you do it like a Galaxy Quest thing, only almost like sort of in reverse. It turns out all these things are real. And I would also play it a little bit like Hook. Like that would be the movie to really look at with this. Is you open it with like he's an adult now. He's put all that behind him, even though it's kind of like his his life now. And the way it would work with the masculinity message is he's in his cartoon show, made that show all about like brute force. And like you win because you have the sword and it gives you the power. And then he ironically goes back to Eternia to find out that it's more complicated than that. If you gotta have the Earth thing, and like I would do something like that. And the only reason I'm suggesting the meta thing, because I don't think that's the best movie to make. I think the best movie to make is just do the Eternia stuff endearing and either lean into the camp or make it real serious. And I think you could do it either direction. But this idea would let you have both. And that could be really cool, where he goes back to Eternia and is like, this is actually really scary. This place is like terrifying, versus the TV show I made. And I just think that could have potentially been really cool. And I'm also suggesting that because the marketing with this movie was all about 80s nostalgia. But the movie they made, it doesn't really make sense to lean into it that way. Like, the initial marketing was all, like, here's the, like, 80s He-Man toys and things like that. So I already thought there was maybe going to be a meta component to it. And so I couldn't stop thinking about how you could make a meta component work.
Yeah, well, it's really weird with just how we bring back the sword and like what it's used for in that not He-Man thing. I was very confused by the context of all that, but
me too.
whatever.
And imagine if that was actually a He-Man statue.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been really cool. And that leads me to my Dolph Lundgren thing. Part of why I don't like that cameo, like a lot of it is just the writing of it is so contrived. It's like there's no reason that he would say "good journey" except he was in that movie, and that's what the guy said in that movie. Like you couldn't come up with a way to contrive it where it would make sense that he says that. I don't know. I hate stuff like that.
Picture Dolph Lundgren saying that just normally.
It's fine. I think if anyone else said it in the movie outside of that scene, I'd agree with you. But as it is, I think it's fine. It's just a thing that character says.
Bro, I can see that.
That's fine. I respectfully disagree. I don't think it works at all.
Okay.
And I've seen that cameo too many times. That's what we often do with that kind of cameo. And then I don't like the way that they try to make it real relevant to the third act in having the thing he says come back with the you have to back yourself up. I don't even know what is I don't even know what he's talking about. Like, I don't know what his advice is. Like, I'm very confused by all that. The bigger reason that cameo irked me, though, is immediately after it, he goes to find the sword, and let's remind ourselves that that's all super contrived, too. So for 15 years, he's been wondering where the sword is, and the way it plays, this probably isn't true, but it plays like he just picked today to finally, like, get online and, like, ask people about it, and then he just gets pinged, and there you go, like, there's no searching for it, there's no quest, it's just, the script needs him to find it today, so somebody sent him a picture, and there it is. And so, he goes to this comic shop, and the way it's filmed, it's like there's going to be a big character reveal or something. It's like you're never going to believe who's going to give him the sword. Like, that's the way it watches. And then, like, it's just some
guy.
You have
no idea how scared I was. It was going to be Patton Oswalt.
Oh my god! Well, at least it wasn't that. But if you're going to do that, why not contrive some way to make it Dolph Lundgren that gives him the sword? Like, that's your perfect Dolph Lundgren's cameo.
Yeah.
Let him give him the sword. He's the original He-Man.
Dude, now I wish it was Patton Oswalt. That would have made it so much better.
I would have walked out.
I know you would.
I would have walked out.
Also,
so,
we were in different seats in the theater.
Yeah, even though the movie is apparently bombing, our theater was packed, and I had to. There were only 2 seats you could get together, so Jayson and Mikey had to sit close to the front, and I had to sit way in the back by myself.
So if
So
that
I didn't even know what their experience was until
and I didn't know
after.
what my dad's experience was. I could guess what his experience was while watching it.
You
but,
probably figured I was falling asleep, right?
No, I figured you were like screaming at it in your head.
Well, Patton Oswalt didn't show up.
No, but I wish that it did, just to like see you.
He could have
walk
been
past
Orko
me.
in the sequel if it made money.
RJ Godzilla did say that the statue that the sword is in is based on the original design for He-Man. So, like, that's a cool Easter egg. I still wish I understood the context of the scene more.
It's so weird that
At first, I thought it was all plastic, and it was like just somebody took that sword and like made a thing out of
too.
it. And was
That
gonna
would've
lead
made
them
more
on a further
sense.
Adventure that would have made more sense because I was like, how
Yeah.
does this like? Is this statue something? And they just put the sword on it. Did they make this?
It's very confusing.
the text that he gets is, "I have the sword. You can have it for $300." He goes there. He asks everyone about the sword. The guy that texted him walks up to him, is irritated with him for doing that, does not ask for money, nor is he handed money, says, "There's the sword," walks off. Is he just a customer that knows where it is? Is he the owner of the store? I don't know what's happening.
Also,
We
yeah,
can't
it
be
was
because
this
we see
big-
the employee
It seemed to
who.
be this
yeah.
big reveal.
The end of that scene, because oh, sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Jason. Go ahead.
It seemed to be this big reveal that it was like, oh, I wonder who's gonna give him the sword, and then it's just this random guy.
See, imagine if
Yeah.
if it's Dolph Lundgren like up in the mountains somewhere in like the Amazon, and he's got to like get in an airplane to go to fly to get, and he's like killing big game with the sword, and like when Dolph Lundgren gives him the sword, it's got blood on it. Like so many cooler ways to give
What if
Dolph
it was-
Lundgren a cameo in this,
What
in
if
the
it was
Amazon
Robert Duncan
Prime.
McNeil?
and nobody would have gotten that.
No.
But the end of that scene has like a hardcore. Oh, they probably shot 20 jokes and just picked the one they liked the most.
Yeah.
Where that store clerk is watching him take the sword, and then it cuts back to her, and she's like, "Are you single?" I'm like, "Yeah, they shot like 40 of those."
Yeah, I think
It's
so too.
rough.
So, logical questions. We learn at the end, like, this script is, it goes without saying, real messy, and it's more of a mess than I even realized watching it, because when I started thinking about it, I was like, I don't know, it kind of felt like I was watching a first draft, but it's more like a 1.5 draft, where, like, you change some stuff at the end, but you forgot to make it match at the
And
beginning.
it's also so paint by numbers.
You're
Just like-
watching 6
Yeah.
first drafts.
Yeah. So we find out at the end, I have a lot of questions about this, that the power was in him all along, and that the sword is actually worthless and doesn't do anything. Okay. But the sword is what summoned a monster from Eternia to show up on Earth. So I guess it does that. So like, that's kind of weird.
Well, I think Skeletor sent Beast Man. 'cause
Yeah,
when
that's what I
Tila shows up, she's got like a real throwaway line, like the sword, like called out into the ether,
Yeah.
and, like sent out a message. But even then, like, yeah, why did the sword do that if it's in He-Man?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like so.
Oh,
I guess,
okay. So I thought you meant like it literally like teleported him there. Okay.
No,
I
no, no.
gotcha.
My point is he holds it up, and like somebody from Eternia senses it or something and shows up there, and I'm like, why does it have any magical properties if it doesn't do what we thought it did? And is that, unless the idea is that's the only reason that the sorceress or whatever her name is, by the way, completely miscast, with Baccarin, but whatever. Unless that was the only reason that she insisted that He-Man not lose the sword, was just because it still had a connection back to Eternia, so he could kind of use it to get back. Like, is that the only reason it mattered? Because I kept thinking, when we find out that the sword doesn't actually give him his power, I was like, then why was it... You were the one that told him not to lose it, and then you're the one saying it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't know why the sword doesn't bring him back, and so so he has to go in the spaceship to go there. like I didn't understand why the Enchantress was
So
like,
we can have like a Thor Ragnarok spaceship shot.
yeah, but the Enchantress was like, oh, you need that to get back home, but why? And also,
I guess just because that maybe makes enough sense where like it calls back to Eternia, but it's just awkward because it's like that's all it does. It's a beacon, and that's it. Okay.
I am really glad
I guess
that he didn't find a sword that was actually not the real sword, and then he had to actually find the real.
Oh
sword.
yeah, I thought that might
I
happen.
really thought that was gonna happen.
Sure.
But there's also like, there's kind of no sequel you could make to this, because there'd be no fearing for this guy's life ever. He's completely immortal. Like, he gets stabbed in the chest, and then the sorceress lady shows up and is like, oh, the power's not the sword, the power's in you. So then he just magically is not dead, pulls the sword back together, and kills Skeletor. I'm like, okay, so nothing can kill this man. Nothing. He'll always come back. Do anything to him, and I have the power, and he's back.
But we'll also have She-Ra, Cap.
Oh, okay. Well,
who
you
also won't be able to be killed.
Sorry, what?
Said who also won't be able to be killed.
Is it we?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Is it weird how little screen time He-Man's mom gets? Like, she might as well be killed in the opening. Like, they have like one hug when they reunite.
I was so
I thought
confused when they
too.
came back.
Yeah.
Also,
but, I think she's barely in the movie. Like I said, they have like one hug when they reconcile. But I feel like that should be more
Austin,
at the heart of the
they do
movie.
that
Doesn't even
constantly
say
in this.
anything.
They do that constantly in this because
Yeah.
I had the same thing with Man at Arms, where like they play it real paint by numbers, like, oh, he's gonna die at the beginning, and then when he comes back later, I was like, I thought you were trying to make. Or did they show that he was still alive? I can't remember.
they do show, but for like a second, I was like, I haven't really followed the marketing. Like, are they about to just kill off Man at Arms in the opening?
Yeah.
But then they do have like a shot where he gets pulled out, so
Okay.
they do show him live.
No, but I thought he was still
well,
dead,
I rescind that point then. But yeah.
But with the parent thing, He-Man kills his dad, and it's just never addressed, and it's so weird because the way it should play is that He-Man messes up his power shootout, and then Skeletor kills his dad, but it's not. He-Man kills his dad, and it's very awkward.
I missed that.
I don't know why
really? I missed that.
Yeah. So Evelyn like freezes He-Man, and then he like breaks out and it shoots out lightning, which hits the wall, and the roof collapses on his dad, and it kills him.
Yeah.
How that should happen if you want the like He-Man can't control his powers thing is like it shoots out, misses, and Skeletor is like haha, and then kills his dad. It's so weird because they never talk about it again.
Or have Skeletor, or just have Skeletor make He-Man feel bad about it. Like, you killed your dad.
Actually talk about it. Yeah, like, you killed your dad.
Now, I will say,
Also,
the speech he has just before he dies is, for me, and you guys might not agree with this, that's okay, but that was the only dramatic scene that really worked for me. And to be fair, it somewhat resonated with me just because of some of my own sensibilities, because the writing with that is really Fred Rogers. Like, it's really people can like you for who you are. And the idea that his dad made him think that he had... Because, like, a lot of boys with their fathers have this. That he makes him think that he's supposed to be someone totally different from who he is, and his father will not accept him for who he is. And ultimately, it was just, I was trying to protect you, and I didn't know how. Again, on paper, that's really good.
So it didn't for me, but it's part of my issue with Man at Arms, where he's a completely different character, and sometimes we'll flip back to what he is at the beginning, which is just flip that opening scene. Like, the way it plays is his dad does not like him and is very disappointed with his son, but Man at Arms is like, keep your chin up, kid. Like, it's okay. And then when we then get back to Man at Arms, Prince Adam's like, oh yeah, you bullied me a lot as a kid, and I'm like, that's not at all what your opening was.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
True.
It's completely different, and just every now and then he will sometimes be like, oh, I told you, this when you were a kid, and it's like, okay, so we're kind of remembering that, but we still constantly talk about it as like, yeah, you just bullied me as a kid. That's all you ever did, Man at Arms. And then when he finally meets his dad talks as if he was Man-at-Arms in the opening, and Man-at-Arms was the dad, and I'm like, I don't know how this gets lost in translation where these two characters completely flip, but it's baffling.
It's because it's like 5 first drafts all in one.
Exactly, and that was part of that, like, there are different versions of the script that somehow parts of it made it in.
No, Austin,
like,
I have to completely forget the rest of the movie to like that bit.
Yeah, and like that's fine, liking it in the vacuum. Yeah. It was just, that took me out of it. Like I couldn't even focus on what he was saying.
And most of the writing, I think, is kind of horrendous in this. So like, just the words on the page in that scene were acceptable to me.
Yeah.
Also, Evil Lynn has like the least effective freezing powers I've ever seen in any movie ever. Like when He-Man breaks out of it, you're like, okay, I guess that makes sense. And then she does the same thing to Teela at the end, and then Teela breaks out of it. I'm like, oh, so that was easy. And I think a lot of the action sequences are mostly fine. There's just awkward blocking. There's a number of action sequences where other characters are just standing around doing nothing for no good reason. That happens a lot. Like at the end, Teela and Evil Lynn fight for like 5 seconds, and then they just stop fighting when He-Man and Skeletor are fighting, and then that goes on for like 15 minutes. It's really weird.
And the two CGI characters fight for a second, and then they're completely off screen, so we don't have to animate them because there's no way this cost $200 million. And for a second, we cut back to them as like a stop, like what just happened moment.
So you know what?
I will say, I actually,
if you're right, it's possible that it's already made its money back.
no, it hasn't.
No, I think it is $200 million, but it's $200 million because it's like paying for
that's what
how
I mean.
long.
What I'm saying is the actual money that they
budget
spent on the film we saw, they might have already made that money back. They might have only spent $50 million on the movie that we saw. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I also we haven't mentioned Alison Brie yet. I actually liked names.
They didn't have to pay anybody any money to be in this. I'm sorry, what?
No, I was just saying I liked Alison Brie. I thought she had the right campy performance.
She knew the assignment. She's like spot on, correct? Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
She's evil. She's Evil Lynn.
Yeah, I wish she had more screen time.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, this movie has Idris Elba. Like, there's some big names in it. It's Jared Leto, who's in every big movie ever now.
No, listen to me though. Sure, that's a name we know, and he's in a lot of stuff. I don't know that he commands a lot of money. Like, I don't know if that's an expensive get. You look at some of the stuff he's been in, and like he does a lot of he's in a lot of projects.
Well, that's because that's all they spent their money on.
Maybe.
Yeah. And we got Kristen Wiig to voice that robot that doesn't need to be in this movie.
No, at all.
Yeah. That was wasted time.
There's a lot of wasted time in this.
This movie has 4 writing credits.
I'm surprised it's not 9. Actually.
Yeah.
Let me read the super chat. And then we'll get back to a couple other big things we haven't talked about yet. Pros and Cons guy, $10 super chat, not counting his roommate. Thanks for the support. Does everyone who knew Adam think he disappeared off the face of the earth? Like the people at his job? The end never says he's still living on Earth. No, he just brings his coworker to Eternia with him for no reason.
His roommate.
Yeah. He was fired.
That's the worst performance in a while.
I didn't like it.
I'm really sorry to that guy.
It would have been Taika Waititi in that role if it was him making it.
Yeah.
Well, let's get the obligatory Skeletor conversation out of the way. Here's what I think. I think there was a easy lob that Jared Leto could have taken and run with this that would have endeared some people to him finally for the first time in a long time. Now, not any of us, but because like the bar with his career was so low that I think seriously, this is the easiest bunt in the history of acting, okay? If he had just committed to the high-pitched Skeletor voice, a lot of people would, oh my god, Jared Leto. Like, we like him now. He at least committed to the right. It would have been like the going with the real Sonic look thing. Where, like, that movie's not good, but people liked it because it looked like Sonic. I'm telling you, all he had to do was that high-pitched Skeletor voice, and people would like Jared Leto again. That's all he had to do.
People are somehow liking him in this movie. I don't understand how, but he is like a high praised thing in
I guess
reviews.
they
I don't
like
get it.
villains where you can't understand half his dialogue.
He mumbles
I have
half
that
of his
problem.
I
lines.
don't know what the hell he's saying
and
half the time.
his voice is 100% just somebody trying to do an impression of both Bane and Rises and Voldemort, like simultaneously
time.
from memory, having at the same time having not seen either in probably 10 years. And he's mumbling in that voice.
Anyone can
Yeah.
do a Skeletor. Like, it's one of the easiest voices to redo. And I don't know if
Yeah, and like I don't know, like why is that voice too silly? But like
he's not too silly
you
for
can
this.
put him in like an Adidas outfit, like that's not going too far. I don't know.
Well, and
I
that
don't
would
get
have
it.
worked better if he was doing that voice.
Yeah, it's also the
Yeah,
fact
and there's
that
lines that like I can hear in the Skeletor voice, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that kind of
Well,
works.
yeah, because he's insulting people the way Skeletor did in that show. Like, they're going out of their way to do that kind of dialogue for him, but they won't let him do the voice. So all I can figure, one of two things happen, and I could see either of these being plausible. One of them is the director or some producer said, no, that voice is too far, Jared Leto, don't do that voice. The more likely thing to me is that Leto is trying to make it his own. And I guarantee you, if Leto got to pick the look of Skeletor, he wouldn't look anything like Skeletor.
That is probably
he
true.
did attempt a Skeletor laugh. It just sounds more like Voldemort, but like it's kind of in the same vein.
it's also it's
Who
the fact
cares
that
if he's not doing the voice?
it's the fact that
though?
he's not.
No,
even,
I know, but like he attempted
he's not
that,
even
I guess.
inconsistent about the voice. He chose a voice that's not that voice and ran with that.
That's what's so weird about it is he actually commits to what he did and never changes it.
But it's not that voice at all.
No, I just kept thinking of there's a, and I'm sorry for this in advance, but there's a nostalgia critic bit on like an old He-Man Christmas special where it's Skeletor and Hordak teaming up, and Hordak like mumbles all of his dialogue, and it's hard to understand what he's saying, and then it cuts back to Skeletor, and he's like, "Enunciate! I have no lips, and yet I can enunciate." That's all I could think of when Skeletor was speaking. I'm like, "Enunciate, Leto! I can understand what you're saying."
Daniver says I can understand Leto just fine, and with respect, I don't want to be mean or anything, but I don't believe you.
I'd say the dialogue was like 50-50 for me.
I would say that.
That's
really.
what I
It
said.
was about 50-50.
Half the time.
Can I talk about Leto for a minute? I want to take people back over 10 years to the before Suicide Squad time. There's kids watching that don't remember such an era. But I remember before Suicide Squad came out, and before like the photos came out when we knew what Joker would look like. It's good to remember, like, actually, there was a time when I liked Jared Leto as an actor. Like, I liked him in things. He just won an Oscar. When he was cast as the Joker, people were excited.
Yeah.
Like, that seemed like great casting.
Yeah, but he
And
fell
then
off
it
the
was-
cliff right after that.
And then it was the worst thing ever, and he's never been back on the cliff ever since then. It's just one bad decision after another.
He doesn't
like,
live
so
in
yet,
the same country that has the cliff.
hey, like, so his Joker is
Wow.
horrible, and then his Morbius is just a nothing performance. This is like somewhere between nothing and horrible. I don't think I hated his performance as much as you guys did, but like it didn't work for me. I didn't like the voice he did. And I don't know. I feel like just visually speaking, if you took and on paper, you take the way Skeletor looks in this movie and how he's written and pair it with Frank Langella's performance from the original movie, just mash those things together and you'd have like the definitive on-screen Skeletor, like the perfect cinematic Skeletor, but we don't have that.
I don't even agree
It's
with
just
that. I feel like with this, again, visually, they're doing a good job of making that more or less look like that cartoon show. I think if you don't do that voice, it's just wrong. Like, why is that the one big thing you changed? Like, in this movie, it has to be that high-pitched voice or it's not right.
Yeah. So, like I said, like I don't think I hated his performance as much as you guys did, but like it didn't work, and like I said, I didn't like the voice. So, and then who knows? Like I have no clue how much of this was Leto on set or was just a voice in post, and we may never know because there is no behind the scenes footage with Leto or interviews with him to promote this movie.
When I could hear him, there were some things that he was doing with like voice modulating and just be like pontificating and stuff that I thought was like fine voice acting. I just didn't like the voice he picked, and I didn't.
Well, I
and
think
with
it's also
Austin, I didn't like that he
pitch,
was
too.
mumbling.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know if you're gonna do Skeletor, give me actual Skeletor because he's the best thing in that cartoon.
Austin, what was that song thing you were talking about in the third act?
Oh yes. So in the third act, or I guess it's like what transitions the second to the third. It's when they're in prison and the gates come down and they're escaping, and it starts blasting "Princes of the Universe," which is one of my favorite Queen songs and was made for the movie Highlander. So kind of initially, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have gone to that. A, you only went to it because it's something of the universe.
Yep.
But B, like it's so connected to Highlander, which is such like a cult. I don't know. Like I feel like I just wouldn't go to
And
that
then they
song
had
in general.
a Highlander reference.
And they had a
don't do
Highlander
both.
reference earlier on, and then we immediately undercut it because they walk out and it's like, oh, cool, actiony, walking shot, and then they're all like, oh, there's smoke, and then the song starts blasting again. I'm like, yeah, no,
It's ruined.
This is horrendous. Like, you need to stop.
I will give the movie credit for not having excessive needle drops. Like, this isn't a movie that plays an 80s hit like every 5 minutes. It doesn't do that.
It's a Bumblebee.
Yeah, and when that song played, Austin, that actually worked for me because I haven't seen Highlander, so that's a Queen song I actually don't know. So I really got it.
Highlander's one of my favorite movies.
And I need to see Highlander. And then they undercut that scene with the joke, and I was like, oh, like you ruined it.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, that was a bummer.
And I was very much expecting them to do the "What's Up" for Non Blonde song. That was a given for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna be mad if they didn't do it. I was.
I was fine with it.
It was expected, yeah. There's an entire generation who only know He-Man because of that.
I don't know why that scene though. Like, I feel like they could have done that in anything.
It's only weird. It only doesn't work for me because like 5 seconds before that we play "I've Got the Power." They play that song.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know why they.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Why would you do those two songs like back to back?
In a
like
row, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, and can we just stop it with that song and anything
that one's way overdone.
Power was and it was and what was funny was it was so obligatory. It was 15 seconds of that song and then they moved on. It was like you just have to have that somewhere. And like the Power Rangers 2017 movie had to have some like really bad redux of that song, but then the 95 Power Rangers movie also had that song.
Yeah.
And that was like, just stop it with that song. I'm so done with that.
I laughed at it because I knew you were singing that song. So that was
this isn't a music thing, but in that scene I did have a moment of dread where they're running away from Beastman and he gets hit by an Amazon delivery truck and we stop to be like, oh, we got saved by Amazon. And I had a moment of dread of like, oh, Amazon owns Bond. Am I going to have to deal with this and that too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another movie I wanted to compare this to, and this will tie into the Skeletor thing, is it also reminded me a little bit of Disney's Hercules. A little bit. I mean, like there's the obvious stuff, like you have the protagonist raised on Earth, but also like there's a specific plot beat where our protagonist has like this animal companion that he had when he was a child that he reunites with. In Hercules, it's Pegasus. Here, it's Battle Cat. But there's like an actual kinship with Pegasus, and it's in that movie a lot. And here, Battle Cat is in this movie so little. There's like barely an emotional connection there when they reunite, and then it's just barely in the movie after. Like Austin said, like Battle Cat might as well not have been here. Like it's so underdeveloped.
In place of the robot, all you needed the robot to do was break a door down. He's a giant tiger. He could have done that.
Exactly
Earlier in the movie.
And I also thought like what they were going for with Skeletor in this movie also just reminded me a little of Hades and Hercules, and that's just done better. You guys probably didn't have that as much, but those are just a couple other things.
No, that makes sense. I didn't think of that, but speaking of characters that might as well not be here, I
all of them.
it's kind of fun that you do the like Saturday morning spell out the message thing at the end, except it doesn't commit enough to the Saturday morning thing.
Yeah.
That felt kind of shoehorned in and awkward in a way it shouldn't have. But this was baffling to me. I've never seen this done. So you get that little bit right at the end where Orko shows up, and a lot of people were like expecting him to not even be in this at all. That felt like a thing they decided to do like last Tuesday. It was like just throw that in there. But then I've never seen this before. Then you get into the closing credits and the obligatory like cutesy artwork that shows things that happen in the movie. And am I wrong about this?
Orko's in the team shot.
I swear to God, Orko shows up in 4 shots like he's been in the whole movie. Where like he just keeps showing up with the team, like he's. And I'm like, why wasn't he in the movie then? Like you could have had him there. It's probably just.
I had the same thing. I was like, you can't put him in the big team shot there. He's not in this movie.
He's not in the movie. What are you doing? That was really weird. Like. Austin, it's maybe not even just 5 different scripts blended together. It's like every department wasn't talking to the other departments. You know, I wonder if whoever did the closing credits did not know that Orko's not in the movie because maybe he saw the one shot he was in and was like, oh, Orko's in this, and he just drew him everywhere. It's so weird.
Yeah, and like maybe he was in like an earlier script where he's more part of the adventure. Who knows? Because like he's your obvious comic relief.
And
who knows?
I'm sick of. Maybe I'm getting cynical and jaded because I've just seen too many of these things for all this time. But I don't get why we keep, like throwing in these by the numbers, what I'm trying to say, elements that like nobody likes. You know, that like everybody like makes fun of or gives crap to, but it's like there's a law written somewhere that if it's corporate enough, it has to have these things. Like when you like you have to have the after credit scene that introduces the most obvious character that wasn't here this time to set up for the next one. So, like, there's not one person that has ever seen an episode of He-Man that doesn't come into this and go, well, She-Ra's not in the movie. I'm going to see her right in the middle or after the credits. And, yeah, of course you did. And she's not going to be cast yet, and it's going to be, like a nobody voice actress, and then if they make another one, they'll finally actually cast her. They do things like, we don't have... So many movies do this, like throwback movies or reboot things. Like '09 Star Trek does this, where you don't get the main theme that you associate with the character until like the very end, like wending its way into the soundtrack, and like this does that, where it's like trying to tug at the heartstrings in like the very last scene. Like here's the theme finally, and like some of what's irritating about it is just that. You can start setting your watch by it. Like all of these things do these things and in these places, like you know where the beats are going to be. And I'm like, where is this rule written down that it's got to be like that?
Oh wow, I was expecting you to throw out the big one.
Go ahead.
Which is, oh, you know what my name is? My name is He-Man.
Well, we had already kind of talked about some of that, which is why I didn't bring it up. But yeah,
one of the worst scenes in the movie,
just
though.
all the stupid names for things. But yes, that's obviously the big one. And this is maybe now the most egregious example of it because you've had him the whole movie, and the world is ostensibly like the silly cartoon world, but we still have to. Not have the He-Man name until the last 5 seconds, and they got to come up with it in the most awkward way. It's got to have a stupid origin.
Yeah.
How do you not have the scene where Skeletor says, "Who the hell are you? I'm He-Man." Like, it's right there.
Yeah.
Like,
but then we also have to have that part at the end where they're like, "Why is he running away? He seriously thinks he has a secret identity." Isn't that funny? That's one of the worst scenes of the movie. It's rough.
That was bad. Also, when they mistake his name Adam for Alan, Did any of you guys
Yeah.
find that funny?
No.
Okay.
No.
Also, with the He-Man name thing, there's like weird. This part of it having multiple scripts clearly. Like, there's also weird setup in his office job that then is not set up. Like, it plays at one point like that's the origin for "I have the power," but then it's not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Power.
Yeah.
It's just already a
about
thing.
And then it's just this cutesy, like, we said it already, but it's not related to the actual "I have the power," and so now it's real contrived. Yeah.
And that's part of stuff where like I'm more with it, like at the beginning, because I don't have it all in context, so I think it's going somewhere. I also assume that like He-Man is gonna come out of the the pronoun like on his name, he, him, and I'm like, that's like kind of a funny joke for getting the He-Man name if you're gonna make a joke out of it. No, I don't know. Like, so there's the big one is "I have the power," though. I was like, okay, we just gave an origin to that. Oh, I guess not.
That only works if it's just a thing that he says, or like it was his idea, but like you don't have the context.
Yeah, like maybe
that's not how it plays
he
in the
says
movie.
like, you need to come up with like a slogan for our HR department. I don't know. I have the power within me. You know.
Well, and if it wasn't about the sword and the power was inside him all along, if that wasn't really a magic hubcap, the power was inside of you all along. Then how come when he first picks up the sword and they do the, I know I'm saying obligatory a lot, but a lot of this is, they do the standard obligatory, oh, he's gonna lift the sword and it's gonna be real awkward and it's not gonna, it's gonna be like the scene from The Mask, like he's not gonna transform. If it's not about the sword, then why does he transform when he does transform, but not there? Like, it's kind of that 2017
Skeletor taking the sword
thing? Sorry, what?
Flips him back. Skeletor taking the sword flips him back too.
Well, he does knock him out, so I guess that's it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's lame for some He-Man fans seem to be liking this, a lot of them, but I'm sure it's a little lame for some of them that you get so little actual He-Man. Like, it's also got that standard problem.
I will say though, at a certain point, and it was like a minute before he became He-Man, I was like, oh, is he only going to become He-Man in the third act? So I was at least glad that didn't happen.
Sure. Yeah, it's not like a Power Rangers 2017.
Yeah, because I thought we were going there.
Yeah. That's just because
that
was such an extreme example of it. Like, if Power Rangers had handled it like this, I would have still complained about it. It just wouldn't be as bad. Like,
although it is really weird that Battle Cat has the "Next Time Baby" War Machine line.
Yes, I had that
has
too.
The outfit at the end. That is so weird.
Like, next time I'm gonna get armor, and then he's got it. And that's another one of those like typical fill in for the formula for no good reason things, Austin, where it's like the only reason he doesn't get the armor earlier is so that we can have like the big right before credits money shot where it finally looks like what you expect it to look like. Where like now it's He-Man on Battle Cat, because that's like the image that you think of. But we're not allowed to have that image until the very end of the movie. We always do that.
And if you had him introduced earlier instead of the robot character, like I said, you could still have that, but they both transform in the third act. But I don't know.
Oh man. Okay. You guys want to know my actual worst thing?
No, we did that already.
No, but spoiler.
That was like an hour ago.
Yeah, it was.
Is it that the drone thing ended and they didn't do that longer?
You're like, why couldn't that have been the movie?
No, the worst thing.
Just put that in the theater. I'll pay $8 to see that.
It kind of made it in the movie. He kind of did a thing like it. But sorry, go ahead, Jason.
Look-wise, there's... I don't even remember where it is. I think it's it's in the third act somewhere, where He-Man is he's in a fight, and then they just do all these poses, and it looks awful. Fight.
My jaw dropped. It looked really bad.
I know.
That looked rough.
It looked like a PS4 game.
Yeah, it's the Arkham Origins cutscene
Yeah.
where you're punching Joker in slow motion.
Oh
Yeah, like
that was
trying to
rough.
do
I
like a
forgot about
Mortal
that.
Kombat like
Yes!
special move.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking that
Yeah.
Austin, dude. I was thinking Injustice
like
the whole
Injustice,
time. I was
yeah.
like, yeah, it's like that.
Yeah,
like you do
or
one of those
Injustice,
special
yeah.
moves. Ah.
It didn't look very good.
By
And
the way,
I-
this has nothing to do with anything, Austin. But I got my Ultimate Mortal Kombat 11 today, and I finally got to play as Spawn, and he's wonderful, and I'm
He's
I'm
good
very
in that.
That's a lot of fun.
Hell
I'll
yeah.
have to stream that.
No, and like I said, I thought most of the action looked fine. There's just like nothing clever or inventive. Like it's just we need the bad guys to win in these scenes, and we need the good guys to win in these scenes, and it's just kind of arbitrary. Like there's no rhyme or reason.
I
Like,
had
there's
kind of the
nothing
same thing
clever.
with it that I did with Dark
or-
World.
Mhm.
The
As far as
best bit of
the
action in it is just when he stabs the one henchman onto the other henchman's back, and he like punches him and
yeah,
it
that
flips
was
him
cool.
around, and then he punches it and he flips him around. I was like, that's a funny little gag. I like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I need more things like that in it because you also
Mhm.
get like
Oh yeah.
just the knockoff speeder
Dark World.
sequence from Return of the Jedi, and it's
Yeah.
like this was just
That's
like I'm
generic title.
just kind of waiting for the stand.
I was like,
Yeah.
what movie is Dark World?
Let me read a couple comments real quick. Draven in the comments says, I don't really mind the whole secret identity thing being a joke with He-Man because that even a bigger stretch than Superman just putting on a pair of glasses and nobody recognizes him. And Daniver says, yeah, Adam's secret identity is pretty ridiculous. It's just, but for me, it's just compounding. Like, we got to make fun of every single thing instead of just earnestly playing.
Yeah.
Just he doesn't have a secret identity. That's all you do. I don't need them to stop
Yeah.
and be like, he seriously thinks he has a secret identity. Oh well, we can all just pretend. Like all of that entire bit is a Robot Chicken joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like in the context of the movie, everybody knows him, so like he doesn't
Yeah,
have a secret
yeah.
identity. So it's like yes,
Yeah.
I get the joke. I get they're making fun of the fact that he has a ridiculous one in the show, but like this is now a different status quo. Like
Different thing, yeah.
No, I was
It's
confused.
becoming parody.
Mhm.
yeah, well, and it also adds to a little bit to my issue that I haven't mentioned this yet. That Adam just in general is too much of an idiot.
Yeah.
Just in general, and that's also one of the things that played like Shazam too much for me. So you're telling me that he's been on Earth for 15 years and he's still just walking around telling people that he's from Eternia? That's ridiculous. Like nobody would do that. Like I said earlier, what would happen is he would suppress it all. Like everything has been telling him he's not allowed to talk about this. He would have like like mental hang-ups about it if nothing else, or he would at least just like how does this character not evolve in any way? Like you would just
Well, he's a
learn...
habitual fish out of water. He's
Yeah.
a fish out of water on Earth, and he's
You're
a
right.
fish out of water in Eternia.
Well, and for a hero's journey story, isn't it weird that like he never resists the call in any way, and he kind of gets what he wants in the first half an hour of the
He
movie?
has like a thing against
just-
violence.
He wants
at
to get
the
home.
beginning.
He gets home, okay, and then we got to tack on and again, I like it on paper, but we got to tack on the like learning to be a man thing because we need something else for his character arc to do, and again, it's just real messy. I'm sorry.
He has the like thing against violence for like a second, and then he doesn't anymore. I don't know what that was about, but that's it. Like, yeah,
I just like it could have been fleshed out more.
yeah.
I'm gonna make a weird comparison, but Austin might know where I'm going with this. Cap, if you want to see the good version of what you're talking about with him like suppressing this stuff, watch your apparently. Also watch Oculus, because that's about a kid who was traumatized by this thing and then was in a mental institution growing up and has told one thing, and then he comes out and has to confront that. That's a good movie. It's not a superhero movie, but you should watch
That's
it.
not
if you
at
haven't seen
all
it.
what I thought you were gonna say. That is a really good movie.
No, but he like as a kid, there's like a haunted mirror that kills his family except for him and his sister, and that's what he believes happens. So he's in a mental institution. And the second he gets out as an adult, his sister's like, "All right, now we got to investigate that mirror that killed our family." And he's like, "What?" Because he spent the last decade getting it drilled into his head that no, like
Well,
there's no
it's-
haunted mirror.
I mean,
You're
it's
just
Terminator
mentally ill.
2.
Sure, yeah, that's also a good comparison.
When we also don't know what he was doing, like, did he go into an orphanage?
That's the thing I wanted to talk about earlier, just with the runtime of the movie.
Any of that either.
The movie doesn't know anything.
Yeah, I mean,
real quick, the Earth thing I think is the most compromised thing in the movie, and I would be really surprised if there wasn't a draft at some point where it wasn't again either amnesia or like he's just suppressed it or something, because I don't even know why it's there in this version of the movie. It doesn't do anything.
It's really weird. I mean, I'm glad we're not on Earth as long as I was expecting it to be, but it's weird that this movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes long and that we spend that little time on Earth, like, with that first act.
It kind of feels like it's only there for, the more I'm thinking about it, Robert, it's like it's only there for thematic setup. It's like we want to play with modern ideas of masculinity versus traditional ideas of masculinity, so he has to go to our time so that we can have him go to an office where you have people doing like the typical like identity politics stuff and all of that. It's like we have to introduce that idea. No, you don't though. You could talk about all of that just within the context of the fantasy you're doing, and that's all it gives you, and you don't need it. I don't understand.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, it's weird that this movie is this long and it still feels like it's missing stuff. Like, we have one line with his roommate about, like, him seeing a therapist and the therapist saying that all that Eternia stuff is BS and didn't happen. So we have, like, one line about that, but we don't know, like Austin said, presumably he was put in an orphanage when he showed up here. It's just, when he shows up on Earth, like, you don't have the scene, like, who are the first people he runs into? Like, what happened? It feels like there's stuff missing. It's really weird.
Just have him be raised by Orko and Eternia, and that's why he's an idiot.
Oh, sure.
He's like Timon and Pumbaa merged together.
Yeah. The Lion King was another movie this reminded me of a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't know that we've ever referenced this many other movies, but it makes sense because it's such a corporate product. Like, if I found out that the final version of this script was doctored by like ChatGPT, I would actually not be surprised by that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's so inconsistent that kind of makes sense. I mean,
that's what it would do to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would probably
be an Amazon product,
but
yeah, but ChatGPT could take a pass at it and be one of the script writers, and then another script writer could come in and punch that up, and then you could end up with some of what you have here.
Well, you know what happened, Cap? ChatGPT was like, okay, push Battlecat to the end, put a robot here that can help him get out of the cell.
Sure.
It felt like the instructions for the Power Rangers RPG. Like, because it's just like, you have no clue what's happening on this page, and it's completely different than what's on this page.
Well, with that, this is, I don't know why you're making me talk about things that have nothing to do with this.
It does.
That started with a different system, and like they were basing it on a pre-existing system, and then when they developed their own system, they started using, they made up their own terminology, but there's places in the book where they keep the original terminology, and so you read the whole thing and it doesn't make any sense because you don't know what you're talking about with, like, roles and perks and things.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. This movie is like that.
Yeah. Except
it's like they left a few things they should have changed.
Yeah.
I'm glad I mentioned.
Sometimes nice to Adam, man at arms. Sorry, go ahead, Robert.
No, I'm glad I brought up Lion King because that reminded me. Oh, the scene where him and Tila reunite is just the scene where Simba and his love interest reunite.
Thank God we didn't go
it's not. And thank God. Because
in the Lion King, Simba becomes Fisto. But anyways, Robert, finish what you were saying.
No, you don't say that.
I don't disagree, but it did, and again, another area where this does feel like it was doctored by AI is did it like stick out or bother any of you guys that like we do that thing where there's kind of a romantic interest with them in the first act, but then she says, "No, I'm not into you that way," and then in the back half of the movie, it just never comes up again.
Never
like
comes
they're
up
just
again.
not into each other.
I had this split second when they jumped 6 months later where I thought it was going to be a wedding, and then I was like, wait a minute, she's not been a love interest. It's not going to be a wedding. That feels like the typical modern thing where we've got to fill in for the formula, but by God, we better not have a love interest because that makes the female characters somehow seem stronger or something. But it feels outdated now because we're starting to went back around to allowing more romance in these things. So now it feels like, I mean, this felt like a COVID movie with a lot of elements like that.
I'll
if you
say
make
I'm
this
fine.
Starting next year, they are probably actually together.
Sure, and I'll also say that like if beginning to end they are just platonic friends, like I'm also fine with that. If they wanted to go that direction, like that's fine. Just don't. Yeah, just don't have the obligatory scene where they're like flirting and awkward, and he's into her, but she's not really into him. And then like just don't do that if that's not going to go anywhere.
No, I agree.
Flip it. She hits on him, and he's like, "No, the only cat for me is Battle Cat."
You wanted to say another word.
They say it in the movie.
Yeah.
Why are you having to remind me of all these horrible, horrible lines? As soon as you say, you know what, I didn't even have this thought, but maybe it didn't bother me as much because I know kids aren't watching this movie. You know what I mean? But like, it's a movie that ostensibly feels like it's supposed to appeal to a lot of children because I mean, let's face it, like it used to be a children's property, you know, obviously. But then they gotta do like unclassy, you know, semi-vulgar humor, kind of like the Transformers movies did. And so you got to do the Fisto joke over and over and over again, and you got to do the cat joke, and like, of course you're doing that stuff.
There's at least not a ton of it, and like
No,
it'll go over kids' heads. But like the Fisto one is annoying because they just won't stop.
It just keeps going.
Yeah,
they beat that into the ground more than that slow-mo shot of He-Man beating Skeletor into the ground.
They think it's so funny.
Yep.
Plushie DX, now you've decided that trend seems dead. Well, I haven't decided anything. I'm just saying that I've more recently have seen more examples of we're allowing romance to creep back in. And so it seems more allowed now. Like, it could be wrong. We could have another 5 or 10 years where it suddenly isn't there at all. But I mean, the fact that I've noticed multiple examples of it recently makes me think that we've loosened up on that again, and like, you know, filmmakers in general are kind of more okay with it. I don't know. I'm just calling what I'm seeing. Like, I'm not declaring the trend is dead. Like,
if they make a sequel, we'll get the romance arc. We'll have Orko and She-Ra be a thing.
No.
If they make a sequel, they hate money.
It's Amazon. They did make multiple seasons of Rings of Power.
That's true.
Yeah, they committed.
And they announced they're making a Gem and the Hologram show today. While their current 80s movie is bombing.
So this thing is bombing, and they pick now to announce that.
What?
Yep. Yep.
And then they'll just call it the Hologram, so it'll also have no cultural like knowledge.
RJ Godzilla, that trend is dying except in the MCU. Yeah, we still are not loving our romances in the MCU so far, but
I don't completely agree with that, depending on what you're watching. I mean, like, Reed and Sue were married in Fantastic Four, though that is a hard one to avoid. But also, like, Daredevil and Karen are together on board again. So
movies have that.
No,
yeah, I guess it depends.
Yeah, it depends on what you're watching.
But how much of it is stuff that is grandfathered in? Like, name an example of a new one. Everything you've said is stuff that predated that they've hung on to just because they had it and it's liked. Like, it's grandfathered in.
Yeah, well, Yeah. Well, I'm also
FF.
just talking about MCU
Yeah.
specifically. Like, if we're talking about like comic books in general, that's a whole other can of worms. Like, they're
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll give you FF. They would have had to really go out of their way, like, to not have that. But
That would have been insane.
Sue was pregnant. We don't know why.
what? We're almost at 2 hours. What haven't we talked about that you guys want to hit real quick? We have not been
another
super
positive.
kind to this one.
I know. Like, another positive I'll say, just kind of expanding on earlier points, is I think the costumes are mostly fine. Like the guy with the big neck, I thought he looked cool.
Honestly, I
Somebody
didn't
in
mind
the
the look of this in general. I'm not with Jason. I thought it looked a little better than the way he's describing it. But
the CG got in the way so hard that I was.
I thought the green screen usually looked poor. I wasn't impressed with anything in this movie, but like, so I liked the costumes for the most part, and that's just kind of Austin's point about how visually it looks faithful, and I appreciate that. But then we have to make fun of that stuff. Yeah,
the He-Man costume looks good. Yeah, like most of the costumes, I would say, look good. Ram Man looks good, but we have to keep being like, you Ram Men.
Well, it's a problem when all of those supporting characters' prevailing character trait is they don't like the name they've been given, and they don't have a name.
And then the Ram Man joke breaks my brain because we have the flashback about him as a kid, and he's like made fun of for calling Ram Man a historical figure. But like he's presenting an historical figure with a fake name. Like that.
Yeah,
so he's
I had that
kid.
too.
Yeah.
Look at my favorite president's top hat boy. He freed the slaves.
Exactly.
He's a great historical figure until he was killed by his nemesis, Skeletor.
My favorite president was President Bathtub. He's a historical figure.
I liked Wooden Teeth Man myself.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman boy. He was a good one.
With that battle cat.
With his battle cat.
Oh my god, it never occurred to me, Austin, that Tommy Wiseau should have played Clinton in something. I did not have sex with that woman. I did not.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Okay, I did. That'd be wonderful. And then Greg Sestero can play Hillary. I'm very down for this. I like this idea.
Okay, great. It sounds like this movie is better as a silent film. It would be even more boring that way, but at least I wouldn't have to listen to all that crappy dialogue.
And the Skeletor voice, you wouldn't have to listen to that.
That's true.
Yeah.
You could just
Yep.
You could just imagine what he sounds like, but I think like his I almost said lips, but he doesn't have lips, so like his teeth would come up and down, and then I would just be imagining the Martian sounds from Mars Attacks, where like every time he talks, it just be.
I just picture him just laughing the entire time. Just anytime he walks in, he's like, it's like, yes.
No, Josh. Jason has not
He's
seen
got
the
a great
room, but
laugh.
he's seen a few clips from the
will
room, and they stick
at
with
some
him,
point.
and he remembers them.
I still want to.
Oh, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I said that to my sister when she was like 13, and then told my cousin, and he was like, "Yeah, it's just like softcore porn." And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't think about it before we watched it." But that was funny.
You just hate your sister then.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason, was there anything else that you want to bring up?
Nope.
Robert, Austin?
No, I think that's basically everything.
Nah.
Just imagine Can You Feel the Love Tonight with He-Man and Battle Cat.
No.
Just
No!
go on the internet.
I was picturing it with Skeletor when you started saying.
No, Robert.
He was fine.
I would gladly see Skeletor do the Nala face.
No, but now I have a middle picture because you said it was Battle Cat with a Nala face. Why did you Rule 34 this? That's not okay.
Robert just outed himself as a furry.
I'm glad Jason's
No,
16 now. I'm glad
What
he's...
is this? What is this stream?
Robert, how does it feel to live without shame?
You're the one that loves Battle Cat. I only said that for you.
That's true. I do love Battle Cat. I love tigers in general. They're cool.
Everybody, thanks a lot for listening. I guess we're ending on this note. We'll be back with more geeky stuff this week on Geekvolution and lots more movie reviews over the summer, so stay tuned. I'm going to be off all week next week, so Austin, what's coming out this weekend? Because we're probably going to have to
Toy Story
double
5.
up on something.
It's no, Toy Story is the next one. The upcoming one is that Spielberg movie. I
Okay.
can't.
Disclosure
Day?
Disclosure Day. Yeah.
I do
Alright,
want to
yeah.
see that. I don't know if we'll review it now. But if we're able to, we'll probably double feature it with something. It would be funny to do that with Mandalorian. But anyway, that sounds either like the best idea I've ever had or a total mistake. I don't know, but anyway. But we'll be back soon with lots more fun stuff. Appreciate you guys being here. Robert, thanks for popping in, man.
Thank you for having me.
And Austin, thanks for going to see this movie. I'm really glad that you did that because of some of the disturbing things that you said during the stream. That will stick with me now.
Oh, I'm sorry. But just picture Orko singing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" while He-Man and Skeletor are battling swords.
Oh my god. Thanks for being here, folks. We'll see you later. I was Chris
Happy
Logan.
Pride Month, everybody.
This was Jason. We had Robert and Austin. Bye, folks.